Hello world, Tara Sumor from Stockbroker to Firewalker. I'm going to squint if I look that way because of the beautiful sun. Coming into you from Cochrane, Alberta, Canada. I'm in my backyard again today for my 11:11 a.m. streaming. If you've read the notes, you'll have seen that the structure is already making me feel trapped, which is the exact opposite point of my goal. So at least for today, that's no longer the plan. I am continuing to sit with the discomfort of meeting the commitment of going live 4 times a day. I've taken the live stream back to being just playing in places that are already online places that I've set up and maintained for quite a while. I invite everyone wanting to follow everything to either find the Crystal Cavern on Facebook. You can go to the Spirit of Oneness site. I think you can probably connect from there or from my own site, but find the Crystal Cavern and join that because that is where everything on this campaign at this point in time is being streamed. Everything else is moving around. So what I'm going to invite everyone to do, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my 1 minute of coherence breathing, heart focused breathing. So again, that is breathing in and out a little more slowly and deeply than usual, putting your focus on your heart or your chest as you do so. And I'm going to suggest that if you can, take more time to breathe out than in. We are simply just cueing the body using breath that we are safe. If you have a breath practice and awareness, I encourage you anytime you're doing it, notice where you want to breathe in, notice where you want to breathe out, notice where your breath wants to go to. For me today, I'm doing a straight top down, drawing in here. I'd like it to go right through my heart all the way to my core and back up. So I'm going to do that in silence for a couple minutes. Breathwork's been the final piece I've added into my practices in the last year, and it sort of, for me, completed the circuit. I'm leading the change by asking people, find it, feel it, free it. The goal of this campaign is to invite anyone and everyone out there who is feeling like they want to do something or they want to do something more to support in any manner what is going on this planet at this point in time. So I don't care what you're thinking you need to do. I don't care that you need to support. I am looking for the people who are wanting to feel like they're doing something. And what I'm inviting you to do is to contemplate or consider the possibility that if enough of us, maybe even try it out, are able to really find what feeling really, freedom really feels like in our body. And if freedom is something that we desire and our body likes, and our body can become comfortable with, and our brain cannot be scared of. So true freedom that really represents freedom to the entire body. So that's freedom to the body, freedom to the mind, freedom to the heart. Going to be easier to get them to agree if they're talking. But if we can find the types of freedoms that create that feeling of freedom without friction and without second thoughts and without any questions inside, and then if everyone can stream their feeling of freedom, radiate it, essentially stream it, just flow it out into the collective field, because I do believe, and I have all the HeartMath science to back me up, plus a number of slightly more esoteric ones that aren't so readily available publicly or to the mainstream, to back me up that if enough of us really can figure out what makes us feel free, whatever that picture might look like today, and whatever your part in it might be today, truly feel that freedom through all of our power centers within our body. So at a minimum, that's our mind, our heart, and our body, and then radiate that feeling of out. I do believe that if enough of us do that, we will create a collective, co-created feeling of freedom from which to dream or design or make decisions that are going to affect the future of everyone on this planet, certainly all the humans. So again, find it, feel it, free it. I do intend to do some teaching of some of the tools I use because that's a big part of my practice. But I've also found in my own practice that when there is things for me, so I'm a thinker, and my shadow is I will go to being too rigid, too righteous, too judgmental. I'm sure whatever it is I'm being righteous and judgmental about, many people would agree that I'm doing that in a very wonderful, balanced way and seeing all sides. But inside my body, when I'm in that place, I'm righteous, I'm judgmental, and I'm hurting myself. I'm rigid. I'm the complete opposite of being free. So I use my tools to shift how I feel inside intentionally without losing me. So at the current moment, I am doing this broadcast and I am feeling some pressure to keep going because most of me already feels like I've done enough speaking and I've spoken up and I've used my voice enough. No one's paying any attention. What on earth is possessing me to do this? Well, I actually don't know what's possessing me to do this, other than a knowledge that I currently hold both this wisdom and this ability to do it. And if I don't at least try and get this message out, that's also going to harm me for the rest of my life. So that's some of why I'm doing it. Because yesterday, I'm streaming from Canada. I am streaming from one of the kindest, compassionate, or at least that's what we're known as globally, kindest, compassionate, get along with everyone, take care of everyone, always be nice, Canada. And Canada has just enacted a state of emergency. The first time this law has ever been used in Canadian history. The state of emergency has been enacted against the citizens of Canada. Now, only against a certain amount of people, but the point is Canada is imploding, and even Canada is not this wonderful place that we have portrayed to the rest of the world. Because the core of Canada, the core of our feelings, the power, the passion, etc., is exploding. And for me, when I look at what's going on in Ottawa, I am fully able now to sit in both sides. So I'm of the belief that this cry for freedom needs to be heard. It's going on around the world, and it wouldn't be lit up if there wasn't an energetic need for this to be happening. So I'm 100% there. I also, my personal way of seeing it, whether I sit and plunk myself into the middle of the Freedom Convoy camp, which certainly feels like a more enjoyable place to be right now, or whether I plant myself and imagine what it would be like to be standing in the middle of the governing body right now, even standing in the body of our leader. And what I feel like I'm looking out is I'm looking at the opposite side, saying all of these words and accusing me of doing and behaving in exactly the way they're behaving. And when I'm really being honest with myself and I'm coherent and I'm grounded, I can see that pattern play out everywhere, including in my own life, definitely in my own family life. So, two sides. The story looks completely different, but at the core, they are both forcing, in a forceful way, what their true version of freedom is. With one of those parties is coming from, they're saying they're a grassroots movement and they're closer to a grassroots movement, but they certainly don't represent every single person in Canada, but they represent a lot more than a tiny amount of people. And the government, he's sitting with an awful lot of pressure because he's also been elected and put in place to maintain a system already in place that wasn't his doing and wasn't his creating. And interestingly enough, the person we have leading us now is the direct son of someone who did have more of a hand in creating the current system that we've been running on for quite a while, certainly his time and before that. Really, over my lifetime, I've watched this system continue to be created. And then what's happened is the system's been created. Now we're putting black and white computers in. So computers that eventually function like a human brain that is disconnected from the body. So when a human brain is disconnected to the body, it's black and white. It sees limits and it sees extremes and it has very low tolerance for ambiguity. And currently, that appears to be what the computers function like. So we put the computers in control of the system when we have these very bright minds that are completely separate from humanity and compassion. And suddenly we have a system that has got too rigid to support the people it's supposed to be supporting. It's no longer designed to fit. Not for some crazy conspiracy theory, not because some group has been keeping anyone in any sort of way, but because this is the pattern of humanity, and I'm a believer that the change is going to come from within. So again, this is my way of starting this change. And I'm inviting anyone who wants to pay attention. The best way right now is to join the Crystal Cavern, because that's where everything is. And then you can manage the amount of information that Crystal Cavern sends you. And then you're not going to be overwhelmed by Facebook telling you. For as long as this convoy is going on, I'm going to keep streaming at least in all the places that are mine on the internet. And I'm probably going to keep popping up in any of the public places that I have the right to be in. I will still do my best to follow whatever the request is of those places. So again, find it, feel it, freedom, free it. And for anyone out there wanting to either do more, do something different, or even just feel different from wherever you're sitting, think different, please contemplate joining this campaign. Because if you start doing these breathing exercises with me, I guarantee that you're going to look back and you're going to start to notice some very subtle change at a minimum. Maybe more, but that's the part I can guarantee. Less stress, more sleep, thinking better, feeling more grounded, your physical body working better. Maybe this is actually the way we could solve the healthcare problem here in Canada. So again, find it, feel it, free it. I'm feeling kind of wound up right now and full and passionate. And for me, that's a good feeling to feel. It's one I've been struggling to get to right now. So I'm going to sign off feeling it. I will be breathing this feeling of passion and hope and power through my heart. And I will be radiating it until I see you at 110. Over and out. Tara Sue Moore from Stockbroker to Firewalker. Find it, feel it, free it. Coming out of Cochrane, Alberta, Canada.